going? How's it going, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? We're just gonna be getting into this this news thing. See how well it turns out. And if it's bad, then we're trashing the idea. Okay. Okay, so it did update. But yeah, trying out this news thing. I'm gonna be reacting to some videos, okay, just for a little bit, for probably about an hour or so. So what kind of content I can get about it. Right now, I'm at 3,000 or 300,000 views on my last video on TikTok. And if people want to be triggered, then you know what? I'm gonna be that guy. I'm gonna be that guy. All right, so let's get into this.
85 people were hurt in the latest Iranian ballistic missile attack. This in Tel Aviv and beyond, including a direct hit on a hospital.
How's nobody dead?
Just wanted to.
Like, I'm sorry. Maybe this is like a bad way of saying this, but how's nobody dead whenever you hit somebody with a ballistic missile? The sirens? I guess so. But like, so seriously though, okay, they were warned. Okay.
In southern Israel, young children are among the wounded in the attack.
Yep.
And earlier, our foreign correspondent Greg Palcott capturing footage of Israeli air defenses trying to stop the incoming fire.
Yep.
They're not taking a break. We've been listening to the anti-missile defense.
That's a big
look at
fucking
that.
missile. Holy shit. Is that the new one Iran made?
The fucking sun.
There's a couple right there. It's a wake-up call for this country, for the city, that this war between...
That's the sun? Oh, wow. That is really big. Jesus.
Jesus.
between Iran and Israel is still on.
And Israel's Prime Minister
I'm sure
Benjamin
you knew that,
Netanyahu is
though.
promising to, quote, exact the full price from the tyrants in Tehran. Mike Tobin is live in Israel at the scene of one of those attacks. Good morning, Mike.
Yeah.
Good morning, Griff. Yeah, this is the scene where one of the missiles got through the air defenses and struck
It did.
in the middle of Ramat Gan. That's a neighborhood here in Tel Aviv. As I step out of the way, I
Ramat
can tell you,
Gan.
it's kind of a
Look at that.
modernized, both residential
Holy
and
shit.
business area. And what
Wow,
you're
look
looking at
how
now is
blurry
pretty
it
much
is.
the center of the impact. I'm told by Magen David Adom EMT that one of the missiles did make a direct hit on a building here. And what you're looking at is a lot of the
Isn't that kind of an L missile, though? I mean, like, if you make a
yeah.
direct hit and most of the windows aren't even broken, like, what is it filled with? Popcorn?
damage from the shrapnel
shockwave,
and
yeah.
the force of the blast as it went
Still.
through this modernized neighborhood. Remarkably, you talk about
It was a
35
dud.
people who were injured. Those injuries are mostly minor.
Yeah, it
we
seems
got
like, by the way, my understanding of this is that the civilian buildings that were damaged as a result of the shockwave. It seemed, and Iran claims, that it was not targeting a civilian building, and instead it was targeting a nearby military building. They claim that. That's what they said.
6 serious injuries, and it's quite dramatic, the fact that there aren't more casualties because of these massive missiles that are crashing down, and that's largely because Israelis are respecting the warnings and heading to the bomb shelters. Now, there was
Yes.
also a missile that hit in the area of Tel Aviv in a town called, or a neighborhood, I should say, called Holon. That is an older residential area, and again, you have dramatically minimized casualties given the force of the impact
Yeah.
of that missile that made it through the defenses. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, as you mentioned, got to social media, and he said that the tyrants in Iran, that Israel will exact the full price from the tyrants in Iran. The defense minister,
Great.
Yisrael Katz, made this statement that the attacks or the air campaign in Iran will only intensify. Had a conversation with an IDF spokesman this morning, pressed him on what that means, and he said,
We will exact the full price from the tyrants in Tehran. I mean, they're just gonna charge them. We'll be like, yeah, we'll just give the bill to Tehran. Is that what that means? Or am I stupid?
Israel has been picking targets in Iran for decades.
Damn.
Well, this is an ongoing operation, and our goals are very clear: to remove these existential threats from the civilian of Israel. And we're seeing this is a preview. This morning, we saw a preview of what could happen if we let Iran keep going this way. And their goal was to have thousands and thousands of these ballistic missiles on Israeli civilians, and on top of that, nuclear weapons.
I mean, how would they know it would be thousands and thousands? They probably just have 500. And they're like, all right. I don't know. I don't know what they have. I don't know what they don't have. I don't know what they have, but I don't know what they don't have. So excuse me for if I'm spreading misinformation, but I don't know.
Yeah, I would assume that Iran is trying to build a bunch of... I mean, they only say every single day, basically, that they want to destroy Israel, right? I mean, this is like... I feel like that's kind of... You know how, like, Trump runs on, like, immigration? I feel like that's kind of like their version of immigration. They're talking about that a lot.
Now, to the south of here is a town...
Immigration to a country that's not theirs. I mean, it makes sense.
Of Beersheba. In Beersheba is the Soroka Hospital. That hospital took a direct hit from an Iranian...
should we trust them, whether they were actually intentionally trying to hit a military building? I don't know whether you should or not. It's very hard to say. I mean, in general, I wouldn't trust them, but...
They wouldn't want to hit a military building because they would be fucked if that was the case. Like, if it was an actual military building. Civilian buildings, I mean, okay, this is probably a bad take. But if you attack the military directly, then that immediately inflicts more than just war on there, right? But they're doing this to just these hospital buildings and just, you know, and from what I see, they're small missiles. I don't really see too much damage. I mean, obviously there's damage. But I don't see too much damage to where... I mean, from the video that I watched of them before, they're like, they will be under the ground. They will be waiting not hours, not days, but weeks, you know. And I'm not seeing any of this. Now, this could just be like a strategic attack. Like, yeah, these missiles ain't shit. And so people are just going to be like, yeah, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They're like, whatever. I mean, yes, it's causing damage, but it's not like anything super duper alarming. It's not, you know. I mean, look at this. Look at all this. You know, it's nothing too crazy. I mean, hell, these lights are still up, bro. They're still up. They're still working. It's nothing too crazy, but maybe that could be just, I don't know, the white Trojan, or not the white Trojan, the Trojan horse. Why do I say white Trojan horse? Maybe that's just the white why do I keep saying that? Maybe it's just the Trojan horse. And so they're just like, oh, whatever, it is what it is. And then they're going to unleash something much bigger when they least expect it. I don't know, but we will see.
They haven't come out, and none of the other attacks that they've done, I don't remember them coming out and saying that they didn't mean to hit any civilian targets. So the fact that they said it with this one seems like, oh, maybe that's true, but I don't know. It's impossible. That's the thing with people that are liars, right? You never know when they're telling the truth.
Exactly.
Does it really matter? Yeah, I think it absolutely matters. Absolutely, I think it does. So, like, if you're a country and you're trying to bomb a hospital, that's very different than trying to bomb a military base near a hospital.
What did you say?
Yeah, that's a completely different universe in my mind.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, killing people as a goal versus killing people as collateral damage is what separates a war from terrorism. It's absolutely different. And by the way, it's different even here if you kill somebody in the U.S.
I'm glad I'm not retarded, because that's pretty much what I said.
The difference between murder and manslaughter. So yes, absolutely it matters. It matters on every single logical and ethical apparatus that exists.
Missile
intent
overnight.
Always matters.
A
yeah,
few
it always
reasons
matters.
that the casualties were minimized there.
So war is manslaughter? Yeah, I guess in that metaphor, yes. I know you're trying to oversimplify my words to make it sound like I'm making war sound like it's not a big deal, and you're trying to like reframe what I'm saying in a way that's disingenuous. I'm not afraid of some bad clip coming out of me saying something in the wrong way.
He's already had it happen, and he took a week off or 2 weeks.
Because the only thing I'm going to do is farm a bunch of retards like you tomorrow on Twitter for a new video about it.
Boom.
Everybody knows that's not what I mean.
And that's what I got to do. That's what I got to start doing, bro. I mean, not make controversial videos, but I'm pretty sure one of these days something's going to pop up. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah.
And anybody who believes that it is are retards that are not really worth my attention. So go ahead.
The Soroka Hospital is within rocket range of the Gaza Strip. That means for
know
more
exactly
than a
what I'm
decade
saying.
now, they have been fortifying and reinforcing that hospital to take rocket strikes
Being
that
disingenuous,
minimize the
dishonest,
damage.
yes.
And also, just by chance last night, the decision was made to draw down the patients and staff in the old surgical building that was hit. So again, casualties are minimal. Now, Israeli fighter jets were active in the skies over Iran.
Yeah, see, casualties are minimal. So this is what I'm thinking, that maybe Iran or Iran, maybe Iran is just putting out these little mini bottle rockets. Just, I know they're not real bottle rockets, but you know, just to give the illusion of like, yeah, okay, their weapons aren't shit right now, you know. But what if something bigger happens? Because Iran talked a lot of shit. They talked a lot of shit. Just what, yesterday or a couple days ago? They talked a lot of shit. They were like, Israel will be in the ground. They will be hiding, not for hours, not for days, but for weeks. They will not see the sun for a long time or some shit like that. Right? So maybe these are just warning shots. I don't know, man. We'll see.
Overnight, they hit a weapons production facility, according to the IDF, in the area of Natanz. Also, an old reactor that was inactive, a heavy water reactor in the town of Arak, not to be confused with Iraq, the country, A-R-A-K. Griff, back to you.
Hey, Mike, just real quick. These are not considered dumb bombs. They're not these ballistic missiles that just go in the vicinity. They seem to have targets, which makes one believe they were targeting a hospital.
They said they weren't, but yeah,
well,
I mean,
according to the
hospital.
Iranian news agencies, what they were targeting was an Israeli intelligence and military base that was very near the hospital. But yeah,
that's some shitty fucking GPS that they got. If that is the case, here's what I'm thinking though. I mean, yeah, the hospital may be near the base, but they're not trying to attack the base, bro. They're not trying to attack the base. These are warning shots. It's my thought.
When you say missile, that means something you can aim. A rocket is usually, a flying pipe bomb.
Right.
Got it.
Thank you so much.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian.
Okay, yeah, there we go. All right, great. A flying pipe bomb.
Fox News alert, #1 story in the world right now. Israel releasing footage of an airstrike on an Iranian heavy water reactor in Arak, A-R-A-K. The latest attack on...
And Israel claps back at an Iranian nuclear plant.
Iran's nuclear program, sending massive plumes of smoke into the air.
And smoke seen over southern Israel after Iran carried out a direct strike on a hospital. A series of strikes by Tehran, injuring at least 89 people in and around Tel Aviv.
So let's go right to Mike Tobin. He is live in Israel at the scene of one of those Iranian strikes. Mike?
Exactly, Ainsley. This is Ramat Gan, where the cleanup is underway right now. Ramat Gan is on the east side of Tel Aviv. And as I step out of the shot, I can give you an idea of just how powerful the warhead was on that missile as it came through. The damage here stretches over several blocks. You've got a lot of apartment buildings, businesses, retail that are in here. The balconies are destroyed. Windows are broken out for blocks around the impact zone. And one of the things you might see, a lot of the trash is being pushed out of the high rise right now, so you might see some debris coming down. Also, Holon on the south side of Tel Aviv. That's an older residential area. That took a direct hit. And a hospital called Soroka in the southern part of Israel was hit. When you talk about the dozens of people...
That's the thing about these news stations. They will have just like a specific timestamp of news coverage, and then they'll just repeat it over and over throughout the whole day until the next day, until something new comes about, and then they'll cover that. Then they'll get the live footage of that, but then they'll just repeat it.
People who were injured.
Destroyed.
Most of those injuries
Until the next, wave of news happens.
are light. And spoke with a paramedic out here this morning that says the reason you don't have more serious injuries is simply because he is
Mainly because people have different time schedules, like when it comes to work. Some people are going to be at work by the time the news are, the first coverage of the news is on in the morning, and they won't be able to see it until like in the afternoon or something like that, or even late at night. So they'll repeat that same cycle of news like 3 times throughout the day, possibly even more.
Israeli people are listening to those sirens.
Yeah, they're hiding.
Kind of like me right now. This shit's already been, up and running. It's like 8 o'clock where I'm at right now. And,
The population is
smart.
highly committed to the security and safety here, and we can see
Very
that
smart.
even from rockets like this one, very little or few casualties because people are turning to the shelters and staying safe when the alarm sounds.
Mm-hmm.
God, is that what I'm gonna look like? Look at this dude, poor dude. Look at this dude. Look at that. Is that gonna be me? Is that gonna be me?
Because people are turning to the shelters and staying safe when the alarm sounds.
Following the ballistic missile attack, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu took to X and posted, we, meaning Israel, will exact a
Yes, we
price
saw
from the
this.
tyrants
Yeah,
in
we saw
Iran.
this.
What did he mean by that? Israeli fighter jets were active over Iran
So
today.
they just immediately
hit
bombed the ship.
nuclear weapons development facility in the town of Natanz, but
Good.
also hit an inactive heavy water reactor in the town of Iraq. So still very active scene over Iran, and the Israelis say they have air superiority, so the Israeli fighter jets can...
Why do they have such shitty cameras, bro? All this money put into the military weapons, and they have shitty cameras, bro? Like, there's gotta be... I don't know.
It's
Pretty
like
much.
that's true, by the way.
pick off targets at will. Guys, back to you.
Mike, we're just talking, what if people have a job? Like if Brian were doing radio, would you be able to do that in one of the bunkers? Because you're interrupted in the middle of your day, and right now it's constant.
Well, you often see guys who will pick up and move to the bunkers in the middle of a live broadcast, and you see that with the local television.
Yeah, I feel like there's kind of an understanding. It's like, oh, guys, I just got an alert. It said I'm going to die if I don't go underneath the bunker. I'm going to have to go do that. And everybody's like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. That makes sense. Understandable.
As well. As far as people working here in this business
I would believe that.
slash residential area, the one thing we see them bringing out, or two things we see them bringing out, is they're allowed one at a time back into their offices and apartment buildings, or their briefcases and the CPUs from their personal computers.
So life still goes on.
Mike, you were showing us in the building behind you and talking about specifically the warhead and the damage that it did. We've seen as each day goes by, it seems like the Iranians have fired fewer missiles, but are they using stronger warheads? Is that sort of
I'm curious about that
a
too.
thing that's happening there?
Well, I think in this stage of the conflict, ever since Operation Rising Lion started, they went into their arsenal and they got things like their Fajr rockets, which are considerably more powerful than the Katyusha rockets that we saw come out of South Lebanon, and dramatically more powerful than the Qassam rockets, which are made in machine shops in the Gaza Strip.
Dude, that looks like a little more damage than the others, but still, I mean, infrastructures are still up. I mean, I don't know. These have to be warning shots, dude.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.
I think it says everything about Israel and about Iran. Israel is fighting to remove the nuclear and missile threat aimed at our annihilation. We're targeting.
Yeah, I've repeated this multiple times, but I'll say it again. This is the one part of alignment that I think that we have with Israel, is that I think that it's in our best interest to get rid of Iran's nuclear capabilities. Outside of that, I see no business dealing with Iran.
Valid.
Like, I don't want to start a war with them. I don't want to bomb them. I don't want to fucking give Israel bombs to bomb them. I don't want to I don't want to participate in regime change. I don't want to have anything to do with this shit other than just get rid of the nukes and then I'm done. That's it. I'm out. Yep, we did our part and then we are done.
Yep.
You're fucking retard.
Very valid.
Again, guys, there are people, there are going to be disagreeers. If you want to have a disagreement, that's fine, but you have to bring up an argument. An insult or condescension will just immediately get you banned. An instant ban. I'm not even going to wait. I don't want to hear why. There's just no reason to do that. Yesterday, we were supporting bombing. I have never supported bombing Iran in general. I've never supported that.
Yeah, only
I've never said that. I have had the same viewpoint ever since the beginning, that the nuclear weapons are an existential threat and they need to be solved. Everything else besides that, I don't care about.
I mean, when you have Hamas saying death to America, death to Israel, death to Britain, yeah, dude.
That is between Israel and Iran.
These motherfuckers have nukes. They're going to use them.
Only the nuclear facilities. That's it.
We're fucking out of there.
They don't have nukes. If they did, Israel wouldn't have attacked. This conflict is very scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very scary because the types of arguments and the things that people say are so stupid that it really makes me worry. It does. I'm really worried. I didn't realize people were there. I thought people were stupid.
Yeah, you did, Aslan.
But this is a whole different level. Oh my God. Half the people here are stupider than the average person. No, everybody in my chat is smart, and the people that are disagreeing are random chatters from other places. None of my viewers are stupid. All my viewers are smart. Everybody else's viewers are stupid, except for mine.
Military sites.
And also viewers of friends of mine, too.
That's fair.
They're also smart.
We're targeting nuclear sites. We're targeting missile sites. They're targeting a hospital. In this hospital, there are patients who are immobile. They can't even move.
I mean, Hamas said the same thing about Israel whenever Israel was bombing Palestine. And then, Israel was like, yeah, but they have stuff in the hospital or near the hospital. And so it just happened. Like, I don't think there's really... I don't really think that they have, like, the moral high ground.
Yeah, no, they definitely don't. They don't.
With this. I think the number of hospitals that Israel has bombed, correct me if I'm wrong, is 36. That's the number, right? 36?
Damn.
Right next to it is a children's ward, a baby's ward, infants. They target it.
It's a lot.
Fox News Alert app, there you saw it, moments.
So that's why I like Asman. Yeah, I mean, he's not strictly on one side. He's more equal. He looks at both sides of it, I mean, the regular person that would be for Israel would be like, what? I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now, but the regular person would be trying to not talk about the fact that Israel did that in hospitals in Iran or Palestine or wherever the hell Israel did it. But Asman's like, nah, I don't think Israel has a moral high ground on this. They can't really speak on this. They can't really, cry wolf when they did the same thing. And very valid. Very fucking valid.
Ago, the Prime Minister Netanyahu visiting the site of a bombed out hospital, warning Iran's supreme leader, you cannot continue to exist. Wow. After overnight missile strikes killed innocent civilians and those wounded, or over 80. Our next guest knows all about the Mideast war and terror. Retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel Ken Tovo joins us. He led 6 combat tours in Iraq and Afghanistan and joins us now. your reaction to what the Prime Minister just said, Ken, about, you know what, this guy can't continue to exist.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good example of the fact that the Iranians use basically indiscriminate weapons, both missiles, terrorism, and other effects that are.
Yeah, Iranians are fucking terrorists. I mean, the government is fucking, they're funding terrorists.
All right, yeah, here's some damage right here. I'm not condoning the damage. I'm just saying, like, compared to the missiles that Iran was talking about, I mean, come on. It's some damage. It's not too much damage. I mean, I guess you look around here. Yeah, and you look right there. I don't know. I guess I just don't know what missiles do, I guess.
I mean, like, it's a terrorist government. I mean, like, what the fuck do you say?
Indiscriminate weapons, both missiles, terrorism, and other effects that are generally directed against civilian populations and frankly, targets that Western militaries would not target. And I think what you see with the Israeli approach is a very precise campaign and to try and limit collateral damage, but to have effect on the nuclear program.
So, General, when people say, this is not our fight, America doesn't have a fight with Iran, this is Israel's problem, do you feel differently?
That's the way I feel.
Yeah, I'm from that generation that has watched Iranians fight against U.S. and U.S. interests really since 1979 when they took our embassy. They've bombed embassies, Khobar towers, through Lebanese Hezbollah, one of their terrorist groups that they sponsor and fund. They've executed attacks on Americans really worldwide. And of course, during the Iraq War, they were a significant threat to us on the ground, and through their explosively formed penetrators that they were providing to the Shia militias, were killing Americans in large numbers.
You shouldn't have been there. In my opinion, shouldn't have been there in the first place. Yeah, shouldn't have been there. Like, again, the only issue that I have is the nukes. Yep, we never needed to be there. I mean, what is this? I mean, basically, like, and by the way, Iran government is bad. Like, they're bad. Like, if I could push a button and it would replace them with a better government, I think everybody would push that button, right?
Based.
And they're crazy. They do support terrorists. That's true. But, like, does this warrant us going over there and, you know, like, spending lives and trillions of dollars? I don't.
Nope. Most definitely not. This is, no. Even though they say debt to America, debt to Israel, and all that shit like that, it's not our fight. I mean, we're here to assist, you know, if need be. But we should just only take care of the nuclear sites, and that's it. Let's get the fuck out of there. Like Asmund said, we did our part. Deuces.
I don't think so. I just don't think so.
You said, you know, we dropped the bunker busters. They'll do the job in Fordo. Yeah. The reaction.
Let the people revolt
instead. If you were on the ground in Iraq, in Syria, in Bahrain, our base in Bahrain, or Qatar, where do you think we'd be most vulnerable if they wanted to react? Should it be clear?
Don't you think you'd say that to families of fallen soldiers, though? Whether or not we should have been there doesn't really matter if U.S. citizens get murdered? Okay, so then why would you? Absolutely, you have to. Like, you're making an emotional appeal. Wow, well, you wouldn't say that to somebody who had a dead kid.
Hey, thank you for the follow, Zark. I appreciate it.
There's a reason why people who are victims of crimes don't get to sit on the jury. It's because they're not making an active decision. Or they're not making an unbiased decision. Yes, obviously. They're going to feel differently because they were personally affected by it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you shouldn't make a decision that way. That's not on Zach. That's on the government. Yeah, exactly. Like, it's you can't let emotions make decisions for you. If you do, you're going to make bad decisions. The second we start bombing Iran, they're going to attack our bases. There's no we'll only go this far option in the conflict. We've already evacuated the bases. We already evacuated a tremendous amount of the bases and the embassies and all that.
That we dropped the bunker busters on Fordo.
I am quite sure that our military commanders globally are on alert and preparing capability to defend our troops. I think when you look at the Middle East, the Iranian capability is largely ballistic missiles, short, medium, and long range. And so I'm sure that all those bases are worried about their air defenses.
I remember when the stealth bombers first came out, it was like
it's amazing. Their axis of resistance has been very quiet because they know the team, the people that have been supplying them are getting their head kicked in. This is a big day, the 73rd anniversary, the birthday of the Green Beret. What is the Green Beret? People like you, how have you contributed to our armed forces?
I thought they had that for way longer.
The Green Berets, the U.S. Army Special Forces, are really a unique portion of our military capability, really the only organization in the U.S. military that's solely focused on working with indigenous partners such as resistance elements and other partners, primarily to overthrow occupying powers or enemy adversary regimes. So kind of think
Rambo?
World War II, think folks parachuting into France to help the French resistance overthrow the Nazi regime. And that is the prime focus of Green Berets. Obviously, we do other things when called to, like help governments fight their own internal stability problems. But that was the reason for the creation of the Green Berets in 1952.
Now needed more than ever.
Solid.
Yeah, absolutely. When you look at the world situation, we're in a competition with adversaries, China, Russia, North Korea, Iran, and a lot of that competition is what we call the gray zone. It's below the threshold of conventional war. It's about creating influence with
Metal Gear
partners, foreign partners and allies.
You better watch, General. If you stay in such great shape, they're going to bring you right back in. Lieutenant General Pintovo, happy birthday to you, Green Beret. Thanks for all you do, and thanks for your expertise here.
And I just close if I could. Green Berets are an important part of national capability, and Green Beret Foundation exists to support our Green Berets.
And so go to the foundation to support
GreenBeretFoundation.org.
So, especially on the birthday. General, thanks so much.
Thanks.
I'm Steve Doocy. He does look kind of like Tony Hawk. You're right about that. Genuine question. There might be a chance that Iran doesn't actually have the nukes, and this is similar to Iraq. Do I think that they don't have the nukes? I think that Iran is trying to develop nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
I do. I think that they are trying to.
If they had the nukes, they would have used them already. But they're trying to develop them.
Now, there is a possibility that maybe they haven't developed.
Or if they haven't used it, or if they have them, they wouldn't openly say, hey, we got nukes now. I would say if they do say that they have nukes now, the probability of them not actually having them, and it's just a verbal threat, it's just something to scare the people, that's more likely than not.
Develop them yet. But if you ask me the question, do I think they are trying to develop them?
Or it's more not likely than likely. My bad.
And they are actively trying to develop them. The answer to that, in my mind, is
Iran's whole purpose behind these attacks are to develop. Yep.
Absolutely they are. And so you're kind of asking two different things. Do they have a...
That's what I'm saying. So Iran's whole purpose, behind these attacks, like the attacks on the hospitals and shit, these are just warning shots. And they're openly saying, like, oh, well, we didn't mean to attack the hospitals. We meant to attack the military base. If you meant to attack the military base, you would have attacked the actual military base. These are warning shots, and this is essentially payback from when Israel bombed hospitals in, I don't know where it was. It was either in Palestine or Iran or whatever. But these are warning shots. And from the damage that it looks like that has been upon these hospitals, it's really not that much damage compared to what Iran was talking about just a couple days ago. They're like, they were boasting their missiles. They're like, these missiles will completely fuck up Israel, and they're going to be under the ground for not hours, not days. They'll be out under the ground for weeks. They will be in hiding. They will not see the sun for a while and stuff like that. And by these explosions right here, I mean, if they were serious about what they said, these are smaller missiles that they're using. They are warning shots, and it is just a strategic attack to make the people of Israel and the people of the world think that their missiles are not that good. So when they unleash something actually bigger, then that'll be that.
Nuke at this exact.
Not only are they warning shots, but they're also trying to provoke others to get into this. Yep, exactly.
Second, maybe not, probably not. I wouldn't bet on them having it, but there's also a high probability that they're trying to make one, and so that's at least where that's where I'm coming from. That's what I think, and so yeah, of course they are. They lie about everything. Yeah, of course. Hassan said they should. I mean, if you were Iran and you were a psycho, fucking religious zealot. People don't die, they become martyrs, like totalitarian government, wouldn't you want to build a nuclear weapon? Because if I was them, I would too. Sure.
Yeah.
I can easily see why they'd do it. And absolutely. It doesn't mean that's like, I mean, just because I say that doesn't mean I think it's a good idea. But of course I can understand why it's happening. Duh. Of course. Absolutely. So yeah, and nukes have protected North Korea for 70 years. Being a martyr means you died, though. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the problem. And so it's that simple. Yet they have signed NPT, and they have IAEA inspections. Netanyahu said for 30 years they're weeks away from nukes. It's all fear-mongering Zionist lies. Again, that's already been debunked multiple times, and it's already been addressed multiple times. You can just go back into VOD for the last hour that this was also brought up by another moron, and you'll hear the answer to that. Just know that it's a dumb argument. It's a stupid argument. It doesn't make sense. Zionist lies. Yeah, it's crazy.
Homie said, "Bam."
And it's just a retard argument. It's not worth taking seriously. As I'm promoting the Israel agenda? No, it's not the Israel agenda. It's the American agenda.
Mm-hmm.
I know this might sound crazy, but just because in one circumstance, because your interests align with Israel, that does not mean that you are a puppet for Israel.
Yep, exactly. I mean, just like Asman said earlier in the video, he said when whoever the fuck this guy is, I keep forgetting his name, but he was pointing at the hospitals. Oh, look what they did to our hospitals. And Asman was just like, I don't think Israel has any moral high ground on that one, because, like stated earlier, they bombed hospitals in the Middle East too. So no moral high ground, but we are pro-America.
It's a stupid binary way of thinking that doesn't help anybody. So yeah.
All right, well, that was that video. Let's see.
Straight to a Fox News alert.
Let's see what else we got. United States is joining the war. Are we? Did we just watch this? Iran blew up a hospital. That's what we watched.
Trump has maybe we're gonna get involved. I mean, I do think that this entire situation, if he does this wrong, he's going to pretty much lose the majority of his support, or not the majority of his support, but he will.
But a good percentage.
Lose a lot of support, and he'll lose a lot of influence. China will go over.
I wouldn't say a lot, but for the ones that voted for him to be, to not be a part of any war, yeah, he's definitely going to lose those votes. But I still don't think we're going to be part of the war. You got to remember, Trump is, he's a rage baiter. Trump is a rage baiter. So we'll see how this goes.
If USA gets involved, I think China, I don't know if they're going to do that or not. Define wrong outcome. Wrong outcome is, I mean, if they don't get what they want, basically, right? If they get pushed into a war, if we have,
I gotta grab another bottle of water. I'll be right back.
have troops deployed. Like, I think that if for whatever reason troops get deployed into Iran, I think this will create a massive divide. It will be very, very, very bad if that happens. There'll be blowback. Yeah, and it makes sense that there would be blowback for that too, right? I mean, it definitely does. You could easily see why. You get them hard enough and Iran crumbles its win. If it's not effective enough, they roll out the hypersonics. They've been hiding. Things are going to get messy. Ground war? Yeah, we'll see. But anyway, this is what he's talking about.
Fox News alert. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that President Trump privately has approved an attack plan for Iran, but has not yet given the final order. Will the U.S. get involved? Should we get
privately has approved an attack plan? How does that make any fucking sense?
an attack plan for Iran, but has Trump privately has approved an attack plan for Iran, but has not.
How do you privately approve an attack plan and then display it on the fucking news? I'm probably too stupid, but that doesn't make sense to me.
Yet given the final order. Will the U.S. get involved? Should we get involved? And what would it look like? David Burke, retired lieutenant colonel, is a Top Gun instructor and Marine Corps officer. David, great to see you. Colonel, you have some experience here. Although we've never dropped this 30,000-pound bomb, what could it do?
Wait, so they never even used it?
Yeah.
Iran's going to be the guinea pig site for these bombs. What?
This would be the first drop in combat, but we are
What if it doesn't work?
Yeah, what?
familiar, a lot of testing with this bomb. This is massive weapon designed to penetrate deep underground, hardened targets, well-protected targets like the one you're discussing.
Wait, so they're dropping it on U.S. soil before they deploy them out?
And take them out.
So you say it's probably, even though we have some options, if you could take a look at this full screen, we're going to use the B-2. And we're going to have, is it going to be one 30,000 bomb per fighter jet?
Each B-2 can carry two. It wouldn't.
I was going to say, I think they can carry two. Because why travel all that way for just one? Because if you're going to use all that fucking fuel, all that money to deploy a fucking stealth bomber just to drop a pre-bomb, it's a fucking waste of fucking military money. That bomb is no joke. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me if you had a single drop from an aircraft, but it can carry two.
I think you were telling me yesterday that the first one penetrates down and the second one will go into the hole.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a likely scenario. Having multiple bombs is probably going to be required for this situation. Absolutely right. You got it.
So, so let's advance. I can advance myself. I did not know that. You think it's going to hit on an angle, but yet it's going to glide. You said that this is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be the World War II, open up the hatch and it falls to the ground. Describe how it's going to penetrate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a smart weapon. It has a GPS antenna in the nose. It has a really good guidance system to get exactly where it wants to be.
Apparently a lot better GPS than fucking Iran's bombs. Well, we were trying to get to the military base, but then it just hit a hospital. I don't know what happened.
And this is a massive bomb, Brian. It's 30,000 pounds. Now, not a lot of explosive, but a lot of weapon itself to penetrate into the ground. And that first bomb is going to hit the target, dig deep into the ground, and then detonate.
Colonel, so take a look at this. This, I imagine, is an animation of the bomb going deep. This would be the first one in that scenario. With the second one, know exactly how to get into the hole the first one leaves behind.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough problem. The way you're describing it is exactly right. It's a very difficult scenario, but that, as you're describing it, is exactly what the intent would be, is put that second bomb right through the hole of the first penetration, get deeper into that target, and do even more damage with the second weapon.
So, Colonel, what you said is it'll penetrate about 200 feet. So it goes about 200 feet, but there's about 300 feet of concrete it's got to get through, let alone what the mountain challenges have. So the first one gets through. What's the second one look like?
The second one looks very similar in terms of the glide path. And the way you're describing it, this is what we call weaponeering. This is the professionals thinking about how deep is this target? How deep does the bomb have to go? How many weapons does it need? What's the angle? All those things you're describing is exactly right. This is the problem that they're addressing. And that second bomb, in a perfect world, goes right through the initial hole that the first bomb created and penetrates even deeper into the target to do the damage that's needed.
So where's it coming from? I understand they're not going to
Like a professional fucking diver, baby.
Be deployed in theater. It's probably going to be coming from the U.S. Wouldn't work for us to tell us exactly where. But one would go get refueled midair. They're probably that situation's in place right now. How many fighter jets do you think? How many B-2s you think we'll need?
Just 2, right? Probably.
I would say 2, maybe 3 max. I mean, unless you have multiple areas, then I would say 2 per area, maybe. But you don't want to send a whole fucking fleet of these fuckers. You have to send 2 out one day, 2 out another.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if you had multiple B-2s. The great thing about that aircraft, this is a remarkable machine. I think the longest B-2 flight is something like 44 hours. So our ability to launch from the United States, if we choose
That's a lot of gas, bro.
to, or a forward deployed base, getting the target and back is absolutely in the wheelhouse of the capability of this aircraft. And I would expect to see multiple aircraft on this mission.
For a guy that knows how to do these flights, what's the challenge for the pilot?
Staying awake.
Hit the button.
Listen, there's a lot of
Hit the
challenges.
button. Yeah.
Obviously, anytime you take an American aircraft, American air crew, American systems, and fly into enemy territory, there is risk. The great thing about these B-2 crews, they've been practicing and preparing for this their entire careers. They are more than capable of doing this. This is things they've prepared and trained for. So once the mission starts, they're focused on that. There are certainly risks associated with the mission itself, but these are highly trained, highly capable people that are more than ready to do this.
And just by the way, you told me off camera that it's not something you get the Israelis trained up on quickly. It'll have to be an American pilot. And
So they don't know how to fuck they can't handle these bombs, bro. It's got to be us.
It's got to be us.
And by the way, it doesn't detonate when
That's
it
right.
just hits the surface. We decide when it detonates. Colonel, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
We'll look at a.
Great being here. Thanks for having me.
I'll look at. There's a video. I think that CNN put out the video about how this is how the bomb works, right? And so this is what they're trying to do with this bomb. The impact spreads freedom. It does.
The impact spreads
President
freedom.
Trump weighs U.S. involvement in strikes on Iran.
Here we
Experts
go.
say a massive bunker buster bomb is likely the only weapon capable of destroying a key Iranian nuclear facility. But as CNN's Brian Todd reports,
Maybe I'm retarded, but like, why couldn't they just send a missile, like a guided missile, inside the fucking? Like, if you sent, I don't know, like maybe this is stupid, but like if you sent it inside the entrance and it blew up the entrance collapsed, you would effectively destroy the thing, right? Multiple doors.
You would destroy the entrance to it, but you still need the other bomb to get in there and fucking destroy everything else that's left. It's called a double tap.
Oh. So they gotta, yeah. Of course.
even this massive bomb may not be able to penetrate Iran's Fordo fuel enrichment plant,
Long tunnel
which is
with 4
carved
doors.
into a
Yeah.
mountain and extends deep underground.
So it's not like the Death Star.
It's a sophisticated, frightening piece of weaponry designed to hit targets like some of Iran's key nuclear
Security
enrichment
perimeter.
facilities deep
It's
underground.
not like the Death
They're
Star.
buried so deep, and no other bomb would be able to certainly destroy them.
The GBU-57
This is the
Massive
big
Ordnance
one.
Penetrator, also known as the Bunker Buster, the largest non-nuclear bomb in the U.S. military's arsenal.
The largest non-nuclear bomb. They felt the need to reiterate that. Why?
Designed, the Air Force says, to reach and destroy weapons of mass destruction in well-protected facilities. The
I
bunker
feel like, we paid our tax money for this shit. I mean, like, really, if we're not going to use it to blow up a nuclear facility, like, why don't we just get a refund on these? Like, I mean, yeah, like, I mean, this is what we that's all, this is literally why
Fucking tax return, bro.
we bought them, right?
The Bunker Buster tax return. Oh, that'd be rich.
Buster is roughly 20 feet long, weighs
Yeah.
30,000
Let's use it.
pounds,
Yeah, might as well
with
use
6,000
it.
pounds of high explosives. The Israelis don't have them, nor the means to deliver them.
Damn.
Only the U.S. does, and there is no public record that they've ever been used in combat.
The United States has never encountered a target that required a bomb of this size. We have other very, very large bombs, such as the Moab, which is the mother of all bombs, as they say.
That mother of all bombs, weighing more than 21,000 pounds, was dropped by U.S. forces on ISIS targets in Afghanistan in 2017.
How'd that
but
go?
the Bunker Buster, even heavier. Experts say the bunker
Look at
buster
that
has a thick,
motherfucker.
hard shell designed to withstand the impacts of the ground and plunge
So that's the. Oh shit! It is really big. God damn.
that's fucking huge,
to the depths it needs to reach, with explosives in a fuse that also needs to be robust enough to penetrate the ground. The bunker
look at
buster
that
doesn't
point.
have
Why
the biggest
didn't it
blast
cover the
area,
point?
Experts say,
Look at that
because
stealth
it's designed
bomber,
to
baby.
burrow into the
To go
ground
in, yeah.
before exploding. The only plane that can carry the bunker buster, the B-2 Spirit stealth bomber, flown.
That shit looks so fucking cool, bro.
Dude,
Like,
I know. Dude, I remember when they first fucking came out with the stealth bombers, bro. We were like, oh shit. I remember, like, as a kid, like, you can't even see them in there. Like, no, it's just undetectable in by radars. That's why it's a stealth bomber. You obviously can see it in the fucking air. But I thought, like, it turns invisible in the fucking air as a kid. But still, stealth bombers are fucking dope. And I love the design of them. They just look so fucking cool and intimidating.
I'm gonna be honest. That looks badass.
Yeah.
By a 2-pilot crew, capable of flying about 6,000 nautical miles without refueling and eluding an enemy's most sophisticated defenses. The likely target of the bunker buster.
Now that's the death right bird. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? All my elderly peeps, you know what I'm saying? That's the death right bomb right there. That's right, bird.
If the U.S. were to get involved in this conflict, Fordo, an Iranian nuclear enrichment site buried deep under a mountain beneath possibly 300 feet of rock. A key question, could the bunker buster really damage Fordo significantly? Experts say the bunker buster can penetrate about 200 feet into the ground.
I mean, couldn't you just keep using them until you did? I mean, I feel like, yeah, I don't know how many of these we have.
Just
but like,
spam the
yeah,
fucking
if
bombs,
two doesn't
bro.
work, then you use three. Yeah, I mean, that $50 million each. I mean, in terms of like government money, that's not that much.
That's gotta be a lot
Maybe more. But if the key targets at Fordo are about 300...
I mean, we spend more for like, like gay Sesame Street place. Yeah, I mean, it's not that much. 3 to 4 million each. Yeah, that's cheap for the military. Yeah.
100 feet under?
One bomb isn't going to penetrate that. You're going to have multiple hits at the same spot. Drop a bomb, another B-2 comes in, drops another bomb in the crater of the first.
Another one. Yeah,
Another
exactly.
key question is, would a strike on the Fordo nuclear facility cause a large radiation leak? 3 experts who spoke to CNN say a radiation leak would probably be limited to the immediate area, and a strike would probably not pose the same kind of catastrophic consequences that bombing a nuclear reactor would. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
Well, that would be good, because if they did, that would be real bad. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that'd be real bad. Oh, shit. Probably? Yeah, I mean, fuck, I'd go with probably. I mean, that's it. Yeah, probably.
With Jennifer Kavanagh, a senior fellow and director of military analysis at the Foreign Policy.
You know, I heard that whenever they dropped the first nuke, they didn't know what the fuck was going to happen. Yeah. So, all right, well, let's see what this...
Nuke or atom bomb? Because if anyone... Oh, they did drop a fucking nuke, didn't they? No, I thought it was an atom bomb, bro. I don't know. I could be wrong. I could be retarded.
This does.
Think tank defense priorities. I asked her what U.S. involvement in this conflict could actually
They're just
mean.
winging it? Yeah.
So I think it's probable that Netanyahu was hoping that if he started this war and was successful initially, tactically against regime targets and other nuclear facilities, that the United States would see this as an opportunity to join in and to...
Which is, damn, that thing's big.
Yeah.
That makes sense, too. It definitely makes sense.
accomplish what has been a long time.
Damn, but the size of the stealth bomber and the actual fucking bomb itself. Well, okay, so those people, yeah. All right, yeah, it could still fit too. You know what I'm saying?
A U.S. goal of ending the Iranian nuclear program.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note, however, that there's no guarantee that even if the United States does use these bunker buster bombs, it would finally eliminate Iran's enrichment capabilities or forever end its pathway to a nuclear bomb.
How could you stop anything
forever? That could only
forever?
be accomplished by political means, not military means.
It's interesting you say that because Joe Ciricione, who is an expert on nuclear non-proliferation and all things Iran and all things nuclear program in Iran, he explained how these bunker busters.
This chick looks sick, bro. She looks like she's suffering from something.
Busters actually work in any kind of attack on the Fordo nuclear site there in Iran. Here he is. Listen to this.
The first aircraft, a B-2 rather, is the only aircraft that can carry this munition, has to drop one in a precise location, followed by another B-2 who would drop another in.
So they can only carry one? But didn't the other dude say that they can carry two?
In the crater, and that might not be enough, so you might have to do it a third or a fourth time.
So we're gonna have a fucking choo-choo train of fucking stealth bombers? Nah, bro. They can carry two each. Fuck what this guy's saying. No. They can carry two each. 2 stealth bombers, 4 fucking bombs. Let's go.
Just keep doing it.
So, in the words of, the U.S.
The risk of having a fucking choo-choo train of stealth bombers increase the risk of sabotaging the mission itself. Why have fucking 3 or 4 of those fucking things? That's ridiculous.
Intelligence CIA boss from back in the Iraq days, it's not a slam dunk that U.S. involvement here would actually destroy the Fordo nuclear site completely.
Certainly.
Oh, this is CNN though. That makes sense. Okay, never mind. It's CNN. They're retarded. Okay, I got you.
Now with airstrikes, there would have to be a ground component, some kind of ground raid, to ensure that that facility was fully eliminated and that Iran's stockpiles of highly enriched uranium were either rendered unusable or inaccessible. And right now, no one is talking seriously about sending ground forces.
That's Utah. Just kidding. No, it's not.
No,
we're relying only on air power.
No, absolutely not. Not going to happen. Yeah, because if we send troops over to Iran, we are going to be there for 10 years. It's going to be 10 more fucking years of micromanaging another Middle Eastern country.
Yeah, no, Trump's not going to do that. No. If Trump sends people boots on the ground, they're going to be there, get the job done. We ain't going to be staying there for any longer than we have to. But, again, I don't think that's what Trump's intent is. I think Trump's intent is to, if this does happen, if it does escalate to this, and besides, people that are talking about a World War III, think about this. Nobody's gonna back Iran. Who the fuck do you think is gonna back Iran? Besides maybe a couple other Middle Eastern countries or whatever. Well, you think Russia is going to support Iran? Fuck no, he's not. Fuck no. Russia's going to be like, nah, we good over here, bruh. Like, what the fuck? Like, nah. No, thank you. Nope. That had nothing to do with us. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. Nobody's going to back Iran. Nobody's going to go to over a world war over Iran. Not going to happen.
Well, I was trying to be optimistic. I was being optimistic with 10. Okay, y'all want to say 20? Fine. It'll happen. We just won't know about it. Yeah, I don't know. We need a new war to get the economy back up. That's a good way to look.
The fuck?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we could get another one going, right? Sure,
we could get another one.
But I feel like we need a shorter one, right?
Power.
Give war
the
a
chances
chance.
are quite high that even with U.S. involvement, it would be impossible to achieve what Israel has set out as its strategic objective of eliminating, finally, this nuclear capability. And even if it was successful, if they were able to take out the facility and other facilities completely. There's still the matter of Iran's intellectual property. They figured this out once. They can figure it out again. The program.
Yeah, that's why you blow it up again. That's why you have to blow it up again, kill the guys that do it again, and you just keep doing that till it stops happening. It's pretty simple. Yeah, I mean that's the reason why they haven't built one. Like, we've literally done this for 30 years. Like, in my opinion, I think that if Iran was completely uninterrupted, they probably would have built a nuclear bomb a long time ago. And it's only because we've been intentionally blowing up their shit, killing their scientists, and setting them back with, like, cyber attacks, bombs, etc. They would have already built this. I mean, we've already been doing this for a while. Grok said nukes in 2015 of no intervention. Maybe. But here's the thing. Without foot on the ground, these bombings wouldn't stop them. They just rebuild with better defended underground facility. Well, then you bomb that one too. I mean, like that, but that at least sets them back.
Be delayed several years, even a decade.
I mean, they're limping along anyway, right? Because the thing is, like, the what do you call it? The government over there, nobody likes them. Like, nobody likes them, and so, like, they're on a timer.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, as soon as that timer's over, they're done.
Yep.
But it's only through political means and diplomacy that the challenge of a
timer, call it. The government over there, nobody likes them.
Be delayed several years, even a decade.
I mean, they're limping along anyway, right?
Yeah, Iran.
The thing is,
talking
like,
about Iran.
What do you call it? The government over there, nobody likes them.
Yeah.
Like, nobody likes them, and so, like, they're on a timer, and, like, as soon as that timer's over, they're done.
Yeah.
But it's only through.
Yeah, nobody's gonna back Iran for a fucking world war. Like, a lot of people like to rage bait and clickbait for, like, World War III. It's the same shit's been happening since the first Trump administration. Like, come on now.
Political means and diplomacy.
Yeah.
That the challenge of Iran's nuclear weapons can be dealt with in a final and lasting way.
The Israeli military says its jets attacked the nuclear facility at Iraq, which it says Iran could have used to try to develop nuclear weapons. An Iranian state news agency says no major damage was done. I want to bring in our international security editor, Nick Payton-Walsh, joining me now. Nick, this attack was during a series of raids overnight. We've seen the evidence that...
Nobody likes Putin. He's been there forever. I think that a lot of people in Russia like Putin, actually. Like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I think a lot of them like it. I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, I think a lot of people do.
And of course, you're gonna have people that are like, I hate Putin, but no, I think a majority of people like Putin.
Do they have a choice? Well, I mean, in the same way that Iranians have a choice, yeah.
At least the ballistic weapons capability still exists in Iran. We've seen the evidence of that where Nick is in Beersheba, in Israel. So there are still military and nuclear targets, one assumes, for the IDF. From those that you're speaking to and your sources, what can we expect next from Israel in Iran, particularly based on the latest rhetoric from Israeli officials, including the defense minister?
Look, I think the defense minister's comments will raise again the issue of the decapitation of the Iranian government. But I should just put in some context there that even if they did take the extraordinary decision or have the capability to kill the supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, that doesn't suddenly spell an overnight end to the theocratic government of the Ayatollahs there. That he will be replaced possibly by his son, who appears to be doing some of the work already. And so it isn't a dictatorship in which the disappearance of one individual means everything crumbles. It's not Syria's Assad's Syria. And so I think it's important.
Why does that look like a big fucking onion, bro? It just looks like a huge ass onion.
Well, then you just kill two of them. I mean, like, you just... What a dumb answer. Like, okay, wow. Well, if we kill one guy, it won't work. Well, all right. Well, then what do you need to do? Like, and also, by the way, I don't even think we should do this to begin with. Like, I don't. Yeah, what about 2? What about 3? What about 4? You know, whack-a-mole? No, eventually it works. Yeah, readjust theocracy to keep coming. Yeah, it's gotta happen from the people there. Like, I mean, we can't be going over there and blowing up their guys. Like, Israel can do whatever the fuck Israel wants to do.
Yeah.
But, like, in terms of the U.S., I feel like we've had our share. Like, we did this with Saddam Hussein. We did it with Gaddafi. I think there was somebody. I mean, we installed the Shah, I'm pretty sure, in 1953. So, in Iran. So, like, we've tried this multiple times. Like, we just need to stay the fuck out of it.
Agree.
Yeah, stay the fuck out of it. Like, get rid of their nukes and then leave. Let them do what they're going to do. Iran needs to have a civil war and just overthrow their government. That doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, that's what they have to do, right?
We got ads in the next 55 seconds.
Iran has massive arsenal of ballistic missiles and drones stockpiled they barely touched, all spread out in underground facilities. They're very prepared for a long, drawn-out war and can wait patiently until Israel's interceptor missiles supply is depleted. Maybe, but I think that also, like, I mean, I don't think that Iran has some master plan. And the reason why is because if they had a master plan, the people that were deciding that master plan would have been able to avoid getting killed. Like, if you keep killing all of their top guys, it's pretty obvious who has the intelligence advantage. Right? I mean, really. I mean, it's pretty obvious that Israel has the intelligence advantage. So the fact that they have, like, this extravagant big thing, yeah, sure.
Put any move like that within that kind of context, it may well indeed exacerbate or...
Do you actually believe that they will tell you if they're really dead? Yeah, I saw the video and there was like a fucking missile and it showed like a guy and then the missile hit and he wasn't there anymore. I feel like he's probably dead. Like, I would assume he dead.
Oh my god.
I mean, maybe he parried it, but like, I don't think that. I don't think that.
Oh shit. Yeah, bro. Nah, bro.
That works the same way it does in like Elden Ring. Why is Israel allowed to have nukes, but Iran can't? Because Israel's on our side and Iran's not. I mean, that's really the answer. Like, Israel denies IAEA inspections and refuses to sign the United Nations Non-Proliferation Treaty. Iran has. I also think, by the way, I don't think we should let them do that. I think we should force them to either come to an agreement or at least come to some form of capitulation, right? Like, I agree with that, too. Yeah, Iran's a terrorist state? Yeah, sure. Also, Israel doesn't threaten anybody with nukes? Well, I don't think anybody... It's the best case scenario is that Israel and Iran don't have nukes. That's the best case scenario. Does anybody disagree with that? Right, obviously. Obviously that is. Broken record? Yeah, you're right. Let's move on.
Speaking to some experts yesterday, worsen the hardline nature of what Iran seeks. But it's the nature of the targets that Israel is openly talking about striking now that gives you some idea how far down their target list they necessarily are. Hitting the Arak heavy water facility, look, that's something which many experts believe was no longer involved in any potential chase of a nuclear weapon. Yes, it could have been involved in the creation of plutonium, giving another path toward the bomb, but ultimately...
Israel needs the nuke. They're the only democracy over there. If Israel needs a nuke, then Saudi Arabia needs a nuke. And if Saudi Arabia needs a nuke, then Iran needs a nuke. And if Iran needs a nuke, then maybe Qatar needs a nuke. And then now everybody needs a nuke. Like, no, fucking no. Strongly disagree with you? But, well, I mean, that doesn't... Who cares?
Yeah, who gives a shit?
Yeah, no more fucking nukes. Like, I don't think... how do people not understand this?
We reach world peace when everybody has nukes. Fuck out of here.
It's insane.
it seems to have been inactive. So the Israelis working through potentially parts of nuclear infrastructure that people accept are not actually a potential imminent usable threat right now, potentially removing things that
I don't think people understand the gravity of a nuclear weapon. No, yeah, people, they don't get, I think that, again, well, let me just get through this.
Be a problem down the line and removing Iran's ability to pursue anything nuclear for decades. They appear also to have destroyed between a half and about 2/3 of Iran's missile launchers. So that takes out of the equation potentially the scale of the volleys that Iran can fire at Israel. What got through last night may have been a new type of device, may have been a particularly bad night for Israel's air defenses.
Who knows?
Injured at that hospital certainly too, and horrific scenes for the Israeli public to endure, but not a marked change in the sort of lethal casualties Iran was able to inflict on Israel. So Iran clearly working with a much reduced military capability here, and so that puts into question how long, frankly, Tehran can have this conflict go on not potentially experience some kind of existential crisis in its missile inventories, military infrastructure. It keeps being
or civilian sentiment, right? I mean, they might not like this either. I mean, eventually, a lot of the people there that don't even like the government, I mean, there's a chance they could have an uprising. I mean, what is the probability of that? I would say it's probably a low probability because it's extreme, but it's possible. And we have another. I will just pull this up real quick. You're expecting a future world dictated by Islam. Why would you even say that? It's not even what we're talking about at all. Like you're bringing up something that's totally different. Like why? I don't know why people go and do something like that.
Hey, don't say that.
It's weird. He's right though. Not really. I mean, I don't. I think I've made it pretty clear. I'm not a religion enjoyer, right? Like I've made it super fucking clear.
Hit like this, and its political command. Becky, I should point out, in a week since this began, they're now on their third commander of the IRGC's ground forces, the Revolutionary Guard Corps. That's the pace in which new leaders are being taken out. Unimaginable, frankly, just a month ago. And so I think many eyes now look towards tomorrow and Geneva, where the European Union's E3, as they're known, UK, France and Germany, along with the EU foreign policy chief, are meeting with Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi. Now, that may well be something which is an entire separate sideline. I was speaking to one Western diplomat who knows what's going on in those talks, and said that they'd be happening in consultation with the United States. Indeed, David Lammy, the UK Foreign Secretary, I think is meeting with Marco Rubio, the US Secretary of State, just today, but described the talks as something which should be used to kind of feel the room and work out indeed what is possible. But I think it's possibly diplomacy here, however bad the deal Iran has to accede to is, that give them possibly a chance of slowing the Israeli onslaught, but ultimately with Israel having control of the skies over Iran and the ability to hit what it wants at will, why would they necessarily stop now? I think the weakness of Iran is what's going to the dynamic that's going to dictate.
It's the breaking news. Just a second, sorry about this. This is I guess I probably should watch this.
Just a short time ago, Israel's defense minister.
Give me 1 second. I'll go back and look at this. Sorry, I got distracted. So the Jewish guys want to see inside the base. Yeah. And so anyway, if I go in and I think about this, I mean, let me finish.
Is what's going to the dynamic that's going to dictate the duration of this.
Nick Payton Walsh is on.
I mean, they're stalling out with negotiations again. Yeah, I think so. I mean, that's a possibility. Iran could hit anything at will. They keep saying that. It's just not true. Do other Middle Eastern countries complain about not having nukes? Well, like one guy, I think like the guy in Saudi Arabia, MBS, the Crown Prince said that like, well, if Iran is going to make a nuke, then we have to make a nuke. And like, honestly, I understand that. Yeah, right? I mean, yeah, I totally see where he's coming from because Iran and Saudi Arabia don't get along. He did say it, yeah, and I get it. And so, like, is it a good thing? Because this is the problem, right? Is like as soon as you have one country that's doing it, now, see, you've got a domino effect. This is how it all goes down. This is the reason why you can't let that shit happen. That is the reason. Yeah, Israel doesn't have nukes, though, buddy. I don't know if they do or not. Yeah, I have no idea if they do or not. I mean, if I had to guess if Israel had nukes or not, I would say they probably do. I
sure
think
they
that
do.
they do.
Yeah, I think they do.
Now, I don't know that, but I would assume that. He didn't say
Why
if Israel
wouldn't
has a
they?
nuke. They do. From
They
a
have the
security
fucking
perspective,
money
Israel's
to
surrounded by hostile states. Nuclear weapons
purchase
can be a
them.
deterrent. If they do have nukes at all, there's pros and cons. Yeah, but at the end of the day, like, we'll think about this. Think about this like reasonably. If Israel used a nuclear bomb, Israel, like, everybody would be wanting the U.S. and whoever decided to do that to go up on like fucking war charges. I think that there is a global consensus, at least maybe from everything that I've seen, that nobody should use a nuclear bomb no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, Israel's part of the UN.
What do you think would happen
right?
if every country had nukes? I don't know.
Israel's part of the UN, right? I'm assuming so. Right? I mean, Israel's our allies, right? So anybody within the UN uses any nukes of any kind, that would be breaching. I mean, I'm retarded, but like that would be breaching some sort of contractual agreement within the UN. I would assume.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Unless all parties of the UN consent to be like, yeah, nuke. Then, you know, but if people just do it willy-nilly, like, yeah, no, we're gonna fucking do this, then yeah, that's it's no bueno. And probably get kicked out of the UN for that.
What is the word, buddy?
Or have a fucking world war. I don't know.
Make a statement sound so aggressive. I don't know. Yeah, why fuck would Americans care if Israel has a deterrent or not? Yeah, sure. Israel would not use a nuclear bomb unless they were going to be destroyed. Your logic doesn't hold. Yeah, but if Israel, like, am I crazy for saying I would rather have Israel be destroyed than have them fire off a bunch of nukes that could potentially destroy a huge area, contaminate the majority of the Middle East, kill millions more people, and also probably still get destroyed in the process? Like, I don't want to have I don't want that to happen at all.
Got a point.
That's insane. You're reasonable. Yeah, I feel like so many people are idealistic with these types of things, and the idealism, I think, is a huge weakness. It's a weakness that holds people back from being able to come from a solution at all.
I mean, other than testing sites, I don't think people have used a nuke for war purposes yet. So also the negative impact of, let's just, for the sake of this conversation, if Israel used a nuke, then other countries and other people that have nukes are going to follow suit. Like, oh, they did it. Okay. We're going to start dropping nukes now. It's going to be bad. It's going to be very bad.
Iran's motive is not a deterrent, it's offensive. Well, it's both, right? I mean, it obviously is both. So, yeah, I wish none of us had nukes. Stuff is scary. Yeah, it is. I'll read a few more of these, but yeah, I mean, it seems like they probably can. It seems like they can probably hit the facility. And if they can't hit it with the first one, they're going to hit it with the second one. Apparently, this bomb can go through 200 meters of reinforced concrete. That's crazy. That's like 600 feet of concrete. And so, and this is built on a mountainside. So, yeah, I think that honestly, like, yeah, they're able to destroy it. So, yeah, no offense, it's publicly known that Israel has nukes, estimated 90 nuclear warheads. Why do you give a fuck about the Middle East if it's none of our business then? If it's none of our business, let them nuke each other to hell? Well, I mean, let them
No. Because if they have fucking nukes and they're going to try to nuke us, they're going to try to nuke Britain, and they're going to, I mean, first and foremost, they're going to try to nuke Israel. Come on now. Like, don't be fucking stupid.
nuke each other to hell. So the problem is that that's not what's going to happen. So, and this is the issue, right? So, and I've re-explained this like 5 times, and I apologize if I'm repeating myself, but, you know, there's going to be new people in the chat every day. People are going to have new opinions, etc. So I will repeat myself with this again before we get into this. So think about the issue that we have in the current conflict in Ukraine against Russia. and think about the fact that we can't use certain things and we can't be aggressive towards Russia in certain ways because of the fact that Russia has access to nuclear weapons. And because Russia has access to nuclear weapons, the amount of ways that we can negotiate with them and effectively, deal with them are limited. And so because they have these things that effectively control our negotiating power, it is basically allowing them to attack Ukraine. I think that if Russia didn't have nuclear weapons, we probably would have seen the end of the Russia-Ukraine war years ago. But because they have such advanced technology and nuclear weapons and other types of capabilities, this creates a deterrent that allows them to do what they want. I think that the same thing will happen with Iran. I think that if Iran builds a nuclear weapon, Iran will use it in the exact same way. They probably will not use the nuclear weapon immediately because then that would probably be signing their own death warrant. But what I think they would do is they would become more aggressive in the area. They would do more funding towards terrorist organizations. They would try to intercept more trade. They would fund more types of things that destabilize the entire region, which our entire economy is based around, right? Like the Houthis intercepting these ships costs millions and millions of dollars. And so the problem is that if Iran has a deterrent, that's a big problem if we want to deter Iran. We want to deter Iran. So if they have a deterrent, that's bad for us. Do you see kind of like what the issue here is? Billions of dollars. Yes, exactly. And so, and also this is going to affect other countries in the area also. You're a warmonger? No, I'm the only one who's not a warmonger.
Yeah. He's literally,
I'm the only person who's not, because
he's literally saying everything to not lead to war. What the fuck are you talking about?
I see a war happening with this as a result. And I think that is if Iran makes a nuclear weapon and we let them make a nuclear weapon, then you're going to see Saudi Arabia pursuing a nuclear weapon. And are we going to tell Saudi Arabia you can't do this after Iran, one of their enemies, because they're a different Muslim, like Iran is Shia and I think Saudi Arabia is Sunni Muslim in general. And so like they don't see eye to eye with everything.
Yeah, that's a major conflict. Major
thing in general. And so what happens is that you have this massive distinction, and of course they're going to make a weapon so they can be on an even playing field against their opponents, which makes sense. But is that a good thing? And then also, what about all the other countries? So now you have all of these Middle Eastern countries that are all building up and making more nuclear bombs. This makes any sort of conflict in that area
magnify significantly.
Infinitely more risky. It's infinitely more risky. And then in the process of building those weapons, you're going to have the countries that have access to them potentially use them. We don't know if they're going to use them. Iran has said multiple times that if they had a bomb or if they could, they would destroy Israel. They said they would do that. And so really, people that think that this is a warmonger take are, I think, so incredibly short-sighted and naive. They're
the smart way to say they're retarded.
So naive. And I don't understand how. I think that a lot of the pushback against, the pushback against this is actually not, what do you call it? It's actually not about like anything specifically about Iran. It's about Israel. I think people are pushing back against Israel in general. Yeah, God, I hate nukes. Yeah, and so people are mad at Israel because they think that Israel, the way that Israel is dealing with Palestine, is bad. But the fact is that, I mean, Israel is just simply, Israel is not really, the problem with Iran is not like 100% Israel, if that makes sense too. These people hate America too. Yeah. And anti-Semitism is the reason. Sometimes, in some cases, it is. I mean, absolutely. Iran is not a country like Pakistan or India. Their narrative is to actually use the bomb. Yeah, I mean, that's what they said. You're not a warmonger when this is defense. When someone says they want your death to you or your country over and over and wants nukes, that's not a warmonger by us. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so when I hear people that are accusing me or other people like this of having that viewpoint, it doesn't really make sense to me. Because if somebody, and also, by the way, if this was happening to you on a personal level, you would immediately be, you would immediately have the same viewpoint that I do. You would immediately see it the same way that I do, where it's like, okay, well, yeah, somebody says they want to kill me. Well, I want to call the police or do something to have this person stopped. Obviously. Like, if somebody said, like, yeah, I'm going to make a gun, I'm going to come to your house and shoot you, then, yeah.
I'm going to make a gun. I mean, good analogy. It's just funny to hear, though.
Absolutely, you would want to react to it proactively. Of course.
Yeah.
So far, Israel has launched.
All right. That is going to be the end of today's stream. I gotta make a clip, and I gotta make a clip, and I gotta get ready for work and all that stuff. I'll be back tomorrow morning, or I'll be back in the morning, probably to play some more Liza P. Probably finally get that boss. I don't know. We will see. Depending on how tired I am. But I appreciate everybody coming in, watching the stream, chiming in, and everything like that. I will see y'all tomorrow, probably covering some more new stuff. You know, I don't expect too many people to actually chime in and comment on these types of streams because politics are it's a very touchy subject, very finicky. But I wanna try to get into different forms of streaming rather than just video games. So appreciate everybody in here. Love y'all, and have a wonderful fucking day. Peace out.